optical art.
Okay guys, so I'm expecting a big move for Bitcoin only hours away. Looking at current price action the way it is, it's almost impossible to know this, but I do have a particular chart that shows me this big move is about to take place. I'm not always correct about direction, but I'm usually spot on when I call these big moves. They usually play out. Now I will show you on this chart and give you an idea what price we'd have to be below to drop, or what price we need to be above in order to get a pump. So I will cover that. I would like to point out that the MACD and the RSI is way overextended, so it is possible if we break a certain point we could have some downside. I'm not saying we can't push up, I'm just going to show you the chart, you can decide for yourself. Now if you watched the previous video, I was talking about this M1 chart, this is 3 days ago, and I was telling you, look, if we push up it's likely we'd fill the gap. That point we would come down. Your support was 27,162. I'll put a link up this video now if you want to check it out. That's exactly what happened. We pushed up, we filled the gap around 28,840, came down to support, this blue line here, and we pushed up. We did get one hell of a pump. We pushed all the way up to 29,400 and then came back down. Your current support to watch, to pay attention to right now on this daily candle is 27,353. Obviously, if we push up, I gave you upside targets to pay attention to, but we have a lot of resistance around 28,652. This is the H1 chart, by the way, guys. My chart subscribers, the charts you currently want to watch is the M1 chart we just covered, the H1 chart, and the A1 chart, which shows that big move is coming. So the H1 chart is on the 15-minute. This is basically when I'm trading on BitGet, I will recreate everything I have on my chart for BitGet on the H1 chart so everybody can follow along with what I'm doing. These are your current, just using trend lines, your current support resistance levels. Your current support right now is 27,800. Your next support level below is 27,614. You have a lot of resistance at 28,000. You have a trend line here as resistance and this trend line here. You see we got rejected at 28,009. So if we push up, a nice short entry would be 28,000. You get above that, well, you have this resistance up here, right? And you had this resistance right here. So you're looking at 28,400 around that area. If you get above that, well, go back to the M1 chart. By the way, guys, I use BitGet. I love their platform. They have proof of reserves. This is the main reason I use them. I know my funds are safe on BitGet. If you want to sign up, the link's pinned in the first comment and description. As for the Dow Jones, the next video I'm going to cover this. So the CPI comes out on April 12th. You notice I have a yellow line here. So I'm expecting, now I will talk about this in the next video, but markets are expecting one thing, and I think another thing's going to happen, and I think we'll get a much larger move at that point. I can tell you right now for the Dow, your resistance to pay attention to is 32,441. Your most key support level down below is around 30,500. The Nasdaq, if you watch previous videos, I said it was very likely we'd get rejected here at 54.52. Notice we're probably going to be in this pattern right here with the Nasdaq, something like this, and at this point, this yellow vertical line is April 12th and the CPI data comes out. So do pay attention to your current resistance on the Nasdaq. If you want to open a put, 54.46. Next major support level below is going to be around 45.42 in that general area. Let's move on. If you watched the previous video, I talked about Ethereum. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum were at a key support level, and I had a key resistance level. Using Ethereum and Bitcoin together gave us an idea where support was and resistance to know if we get a pump or if we get topped out for resistance. But I was showing that this white line right here was your resistance and this ring was your support. This is the same video I referenced at the beginning of this video. You can see how this played out. We pushed up from 1,724 and hit this to the dollar and got rejected, 1,858. The current resistance right now for Ethereum is right around 1,822, and you can see we're currently riding up this trend line of support, but your next support level below is around 1,723. Same with Sol. I covered this previously if you want to watch that last video. The current resistance right now to pay attention to is 21.55, and your current support below is 19.84. I made a post about this A1 chart in Discord, so this is the most important chart to pay attention to. This chart shows me that we're going to get a big move only hours away. Again, if you want to get access to all these live charts in Discord, the link's pinned in the first comment and description. So this is the chart that shows me a big move is coming. All I can do is tell you that this chart has been dead on accurate at predicting moves. I'm just going to go to the left a bit and just show you why this chart actually helps you know when a move is coming. These lines on this chart are fib channels. It's basically just like a fib retracement at an angle. And just want to point out how accurate this has been. I'm going to go back a good ways and just show you. Like notice right here, there's a this line right here, this is what I'm referring to, these lines right here at this angle. You notice when we cross this one, right? As soon as we cross this line, you notice we'll come down, we'll test it as support. This is what I'm saying. Either we're going to bounce or we're going to have a major drop. But notice we pushed up. As soon as we broke this, we had a drop, right? We crossed it and we dropped. So let's come down to this one. This line right here became support and resistance. We wrote up this one. Notice we wrote it up as support, support, became resistance, came up, tested as resistance again, and then we came down. So you can see how accurate these fib channels are. We crossed this one. We had a drop. Let's go on. You can see this one right here. We were riding up it. As soon as we crossed it, we started coming down. Tested this one as resistance. As soon as we crossed this one, had a major drop. So again, these lines, the lines moving up at an angle like this, are just points to watch for potential pivot. You can see right here, this one became support. It was support right here. We broke above it, tested it as resistance, and then came down. And this entire structure is just based, it's a large structure, fib channels inside of a larger fib channel, and that's how I'm able to get these points to pay attention to. But basically, we're coming up, we're at a line right now. So this is how I know a big move is coming. Again, direction depends on price. Looks like we're currently breaking it now. We'll have to see what happens. But I would like to point out, if you'll notice, we came down, we found support on this line. We pushed up, we found support, hit it as resistance. So basically, once we crossed it, we started coming down to support. And that was a drop of, until we started pushing up, let's drop a little over 10%. All right, well, same thing, next fib channel line. We came up, it was resistance, support, found support. As soon as we crossed it, we had a drop. We came down a total of, once we crossed it, we came down close to 20%. This is the next line in the fib channel. We crossed it once and dropped already. Notice it was support, we crossed it, we dropped down to support, and then we pushed up. You can see if I zoom in on this, we're currently breaking it now, so we could be looking at some downside potentially. Notice we found support. All right, this was actually our support and resistance, this line right here. But this line right here, we're breaking it right now, so it's very possible we could already be headed down. Now, if price pushes back up above, and this is what I'm saying about knowing potentially what price to get an idea if we're going to drop. Well, if we're already below this line, it's possible we're already starting our drop. If we push back up above 27,858, then we could continue right up this line to hit some upside targets. I can tell you right now, this A1 chart has been dead on accurate for finding tops. When we pushed up, we got rejected perfectly right there at 29,367. So we do know that if we push up, next major resistance to watch is around 29,625. But all I can tell you is, based on this chart, it shows me within the next, I'll just say hours away, if we continue sideways, all right, if price stays at the same price and we move sideways, it looks like we're headed down to some lower targets. Now, I can just tell you, if we drop, your next major support on this chart to pay attention to, and it's clear as day, just look left, you can see. This line has been a lot of support and resistance. So it looks like if we come down, your first target to watch is around 25,500. If that breaks, well, then we have a lot more downside. I can tell you this is a support level to watch. It's just a trend line as support. If 25,500 breaks, then we're looking at it coming down at least, oh, come on, hold on. Let's do it this way. We're looking at coming down at least 35%, depending when you make contact. But your first point to watch is 25,500, and just because we're breaking this now, it looks like we're already possibly coming down to test. We're on our way to test 25,500. But anyways, guys, just pay attention to that. Your current support, like I said, is on the M1 chart right here around 27,551. And that's pretty much on par. This is 27,423. If that breaks, and again, I just showed you the MACD and the RSI looks like it's about to, you can see right here, this is starting to turn red. We're already way overextended. And seeing us breaking this point right now just shows me it looks like we're looking at some downside. But again, if price does push up above 27,850, 27,900, then it's possible we could push higher. But to me, it looks like we're already breaking the structure to come down. That's pretty much it, guys. Expect a new video soon. I'll be talking about the CPI on April 12th. Remember, if you want to get access to these charts, the website's opticalcrypto.com. Links pinned in the first comment description. I have tutorials teaching my charting method. You want to create these charts for yourself. And if you want to sign up for a BitGet, guys, my link's pinned in the first comment description. That's it, guys. I'm out. Trade safe, trade smart.